You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh,
Welcome to Turn 1. I'm Sean Fitz. Appreciate you being here. As always, whether it be on Facebook, Twitch, or both our horizontal and vertical options now available on YouTube, we appreciate the viewership. Live tonight, it's Tuesday, so it's the Downforce Racing Series right here on Turn 1. And they're taking on the Tricky Triangle. 26 drivers getting ready to go around this really interesting racetrack here in the Poconos. It's going to be a really, really good time, and I'm glad you're with us tonight. Vinny Mastias, he's up front right now, or he's going to start up front on the pole. Jeff Hollingsworth, he was the fastest in practice by roughly almost 8/10 of a second. 8/100ths of a second. He was quick. We'll see if that materializes in the race pace here. Andrew Lutz Jr. P3 tonight starting out. Paul Crumry, Ryan Patty, your top 5. Andrew Lutz, Charles Woods, Ross Rawlings, David Farber, Tyrone Harris, your top 10. Jerry Bergeron, Caden Henry Oaks, Tyler White, Nick Pizzani, Sean Zaricki, Bob Lacavera is going to start P16 tonight. Dave Hunt is going to start 17th. Thomas Taylor, Ron Hollyfield, and Ron Dale going to start in the top 20. Waiting on a few final cars to grid up. In the meantime, we'll continue walking through tonight's qualifying order. Mike Whitaker, 21st tonight. John Anderson and Chris Leroy, 22nd and 23rd. Fred Williams and Steve Lane making up your top 25. Hand over fist, 26th. It's going to be really interesting. Again, like I mentioned, full court press. A lot of drivers out here tonight getting ready to go. And again, it's going to be a great race here under the sunshine of Pocono as the pace car gets off pit road. While we're going to watch those guys get paced up and get ready to go here on Turn 1, I want to thank everybody again for tuning in tonight. We do have a vertical stream now available up on YouTube. If you haven't already done so, check that out. You're watching this on a mobile phone, you want to have a little bit of a better viewing experience, head on over to youtube.com and do a search for Turn 1 Broadcasting, and you'll see both a horizontal and vertical option available there for you. Starting to scrub those tires, get them a little warm as they get ready to go here at Pocono. This famed three-corner racetrack. We're going to talk about the characteristics of this thing throughout the night, but just so if you've not seen a race at Pocono or it's been a hot minute, remember, this is not a four-corner track, it's 3. That's why it's called the Tricky Triangle, and each corner has very unique dimensions and characteristics that really require your attention as a driver. You may be good at 1, you may be terrible in 3, and by the way, 2, you're just hanging off for the ride. Vice versa. Who knows? It all depends. I personally, as a driver, especially in the B car, could never get this place figured out, but that's okay. That's why I'm up in the booth. These guys are on the track, and we're getting ready to go green flag racing. As they come down the front stretch, the pace car is going to dip down. 26 drivers, including Vinny Mastias. It's going to get it rolling, and we're green flag here at Pocono. All the way down into turn number 1 for the first time. This is going to be about the most grip these guys are going to have until they have another restart with pit stops. But the 70 car, Mastias is going to get out free and clear. Top 3 now. Lutz Jr., Jeff Hollingsworth is going to settle into 3rd. Ryan Patty, Paul Crumry are going to settle in. Now the top 6, pretty much in line. Ross Rawlings, you see him really high up on the wall there. Oh, we got a car really getting loose there. I think it was Caden Henry Oaks. He got it figured out side by side with Andrew Lutz. Let me look a little further back. That's that's Charles Wood, Ross Rawlings, Dave Faribault in the top 10. But the 70 car, he's out front, long gone, 0.3 of a second, lap number 1. And here's where we're going to see a bunch of drivers probably struggle just a smidge as everybody throws it off into turn one for the first time. At speed. You know, we've seen some really terrifying accidents in NASCAR over the years coming off into one. And it's very likely here the sim as well. You get in there, you lock up the brakes. There's really not a whole lot of saving it. You're coming down that front stretch on 195 plus and really just hanging on for the ride. Speaking of hanging on for the ride, we've got the car sideways. That's Dave Hunt. Looks like Bob Lacavera is going to be also involved. He was slow on the track. And the caution's going to be out. Lap number 3. Let's see if we can take a quick look here at the 53 car. This is Dave Hunt. What may have happened there coming out of one? Oh, it just looks like him and Bob kind of found the same place on the racetrack. Obviously, one was not clear and one thought he was. And that's going to cause a little bit of drama and bring out the caution for the first time tonight here on lap number 3. Vinny Macias out front. Andrew Lutz Jr., Jeff Hollingsworth, Ryan Patty, Paul Crummer, your top 5. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in all over Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you're finding us. We appreciate you. If you haven't already done so, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do what you need to do. We are really driving over YouTube and Facebook if we possibly can. Over 400 people like our Facebook page, and we want you to be one of them. So head on over to facebook.com, do a search for Turn 1 Broadcasting. If you're watching us on Facebook already, make sure you're joined, make sure you're liked, whatever you need to do to get connected to Turn 1 over there. We appreciate you tuning in. YouTube's the same way. 106 subscribers on the YouTube page. That's a pretty strong number, but I feel like we could do a little bit better. So again, if you haven't already done so, like, subscribe, do me a favor, like this stream, and then go ahead and head up and subscribe to us if you wouldn't mind. Under caution here for the first time tonight as they complete lap number 3 at Pocono. You're watching Turn 1. Back live here, side by side, getting ready to go back. Green flag racing as they take lap number 6. And hey, you know, we put that call to action out there. We got some action. Thanks for all the likes and the subscribes. We appreciate it. Hanover, I see you in the chat. Good evening, fine sir. I hope you caught the beginning. We made sure we gave you a little shout out via a little music rendition. We appreciate you putting that together for us. And Rel, good to see you're in race control tonight. And let us know if there's anything we could do to make your lives any easier here over on turn 1. Again, getting ready to go back. Green flag racing. Lap number 6. Remember Bob Lacavera and I apologize about that. It's Lacavera and Dave Hunt. I had it right there on the tip of my tongue. Involved in that caution here early. Coming out of turn number 1. Bringing out the yellow for the first time tonight here at Pocono. 80 full laps of racing action going to come to you here, plus potential for NASCAR overtime. So even though under caution here for a couple laps, we still got a long way to go. Vinny Macias, Andrew Lutz Jr. out front, 2 by 2, as they get ready to go back. Green flag racing right down the front stretch into the restart zone. The 70 car is going to get them rolling. The green flags back out for DRS. Top 3 single files. They get ready to roll into 1. Here comes Hollingsworth on the inside. Oh, he's going to get tight. Slide up the racetrack. Hollingsworth nearly gets into some trouble alongside Ryan Patty. They were able to clean that up. And Hollingsworth is going to settle in. Again, we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Hollingsworth was the fastest driver in practice. Put a pretty strong lap time up. Track conditions have been changing. It looks like qualifying was a little cooler than practice was, so that may have played a little bit of a factor. But either way, Hollingsworth right now sitting 4th as they work their way through turn number 3. Back up to speed they are. The 70 car. Between him and Andrew Lutz Jr. kind of tried to break the draft a little bit here. Lutz Jr. hanging on during this restart. By this time on the start of the race, we saw Macias out front by nearly 4/10 right now. It's not an interval. It's a car count within about a length and a half or so. And we see the 70 trying to break that draft. The 7's trying to stick with him. In the meantime, we got a little bit of a battle back here brewing. That's Jeff Hollingsworth and Caden Henry Oaks as they rolled through 2. For a moment there, it looked like Oaks may have had something out of turn number 1, but no dice. Looking back through the field, that's Ross Rawlings. We've seen that driver. Woo, we got somebody loose. I believe that was, who was that? Was that Andrew Lutz? It was. Got really loose underneath. Ross Rawlings able to save it, but he's going to lose some spots. Rawlings now, rolling through turn 1, Dave Fairbarrow, sitting 9th right now, just behind him. John Zaricki, 10th. And then it gets a little crazier back here towards the rear. That's Andrew Lutz, Thomas Taylor, Jerry Bergeron. Battling it out as they roll into 2. These corners, who was heading that white car? Was that Tyrone? These cars get really tight, especially through the corner. But we're going to look back up front. We got a battle for the lead. It's the 7 versus the 70. And by the way, Ryan Patty's all over the bumper. Andrew Lutz Jr., though, is going to lead that lap. Macias hard on the inside as they go side by side, off into 1. Ryan Patty's into the wall. The 7 tried to break the draft. He's going to wall ride as well. Ryan Patty and Andrew Lutz were battling it out there. Lutz tried to break the draft. Patty got tight, got into the wall. Saw a puff of smoke come off that machine, but it doesn't look like it lost a lot of pace. The 70 car is back out front, but it is a tight run up here with the leader. In the meantime, here comes Hollingsworth, that 7. He's actually down a little bit of pace. Hollingsworth's going to look underneath. Andrew Lutz Jr. Maybe some damage on the 7. Oh, he had to turn down underneath pretty hard to prevent the run from Caden Henry Oaks. But here comes Oaks on the inside. Side by side as they roll off into 1. Oaks is going to charge down on the bottom. He's going to have room to slide up. He's going to take that spot, Caden Henry Oaks, to the top 5. The 7's going to be tied to the bumper trying to collect the draft, but I would not be shocked if that 7 car is going to have a level of damage on him. In the meantime, last time through the start-finish line, Vinny Macias so far credited with the fastest lap of the race of 53.78. Lightning pace out of that 70 car. I think we saw this last week as well, or the last couple of weeks with the 70. A little slow to get started on a restart, but comes off strong. We'll see if that if he's able to keep that or keep it up front. Make it work for him in the long run. Lutz Jr. is going to get that car sorted out. Him and Caden Henry Oaks switch spots as they come off into 1. Jr. is going to pick back up on 4th. Go back a little further here. This is Ross Rawlings, Charles Woods, side by side. Coming off into 1 and 2. Sliding through the corner, nearly made it 3 wide there. Who is that? That's John Zaricki. No, it's not. It is not John Zaricki. That is Dave Fairbarrow. Fairbaugh. Dave, I'm sorry, David, we're gonna have to sort that name out. If you can reach out to me, I just want to make sure I get that right. Either way, he's now gonna move up into that 8th spot. Charles Woods is gonna roll back tonight. Paul Crumry right now sitting at 6th, having a quiet night as he should. Right now, it's early tonight. Lost 2 spots, but currently running around 6, right behind Caden Henry Oaks. Now our top 3 is a little scattered out with the exception of 1st and 2nd. Here comes Ryan Patty, the driver of the 30, up 3 spots on the night. Right now rolling through 2 and looking for a place to potentially challenge the 70 for the lead. They're going to be tight right to the bumper. And then side by side, Patty's going to look underneath Macias. And right down to the bottom he goes. Now, with that being said, Patty's going to have the short speed here. Macias is going to have a lot of momentum going off into 1. Patty's going to be nearly all the way down to the apron trying to break the draft. He's going to come back up and take the air off the nose of the 70. Ryan Patty, your new leader here, lap number 13. Everybody tried to break that draft as they come down Long Pond Straight. Off into 2. This is a really, really expansive racetrack. A lot of areas for opportunity and passing and setting up passes and taking advantage of slip-ups. Again, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast how dynamic and unique these corners are here at Pocono. And, you know, they can favor really anybody's driving styles. We see Patty again nearly all the way down to the pit wall. You may be really hot in one of the 2 corners, but really I've seen very few drivers that had impressive speed through every single corner here. Patty going to continue to run down and break that draft. But Macias is going to be right there with him. Tire wear can also become a factor. Oh, we see Hollingsworth get a little out of shape. And the 7 car is going to take advantage of that on the outside. He's going to clear Hollingsworth, and here comes Henry Oaks right to the bumper of the 97. And now he's going to take a look on the inside. He's going to be in the favorable lane and off into turn number 1. Can he complete the pass? As Andrew Lutz Jr. moves ahead, the 97 is going to lose 2 spots basically in the span of a lap. Caden Henry Oaks up to 4th. Another big charger here so far, Ross Rawlings. We've talked about him a couple times. He's up 2 spots tonight. Not our biggest mover, but up to P6. Most weeks, if we don't see that bright green 91 car up front, it's usually a good reason for it, or at least in the top 10. And right now, he's knocking on the door of a top 5. Speaking of knocking on the door, here comes the 70 car, Masteus. Back to outside of Ryan Patty. Masteus is going to have a big run down the front stretch here. A lot of RPM in that car. He was on the outside of the corner. He did not chase Ryan Patty that time down. He's going to have to lift a little earlier here than Patty as they go into drag race right off into 1. Patty on the bottom. Masteus on the middle. But on the outside there, again, side by side, it's a drag race down the straight. Then the 70 car is going to get clear. That is RPM playing a factor. We saw Masteus spin that car up pretty hard into 3, run the high line. Was able to build up some miles per hour, get the pass completed. But he had to build it up. Oh, and the caution's going to be out on the racetrack. Trying to find out where this may have been. It was Thomas Taylor, and he unfortunately had to tow to the pits. I do believe this is Taylor's caution. Let's take a look. I'm not quite sure what happened there. It just came to a stop. Maybe that was not the reason for the caution. It definitely looks like it was, and he's going to disconnect, but that's going to bring the caution out for the 2nd time here tonight with the 70 car leading Ryan Patty running P2, Andrew Lutz Jr. P3, Caden Henry Oaks and Jeff Hollingsworth rounding out your top 5. Under caution, 2nd time on lap number 17 at Pocono. You're watching turn 1. Under caution here tonight for the 2nd time at Pocono. You're watching Turn 1 in the Downforce Racing Series right here, broadcast live every Tuesday night, all throughout June and July, right here, again on Turn 1. I appreciate you being here. I'm Sean Fitz. It's been a great call so far here at the Tricky Triangle. And I suspect it's only going to get better from here as we close in on the quarter way through this race tonight with the DRS crew on Tuesday night. Let's talk about racing action over the next couple weeks. DRS heads to Chicagoland next week and next Tuesday, and then they head on over to Talladega and Charlotte to round out the month of June. And then right there, knocking on the door of July 4th, they're going to head on over to Homestead on 7-1. So it'll be a really, really good time with this group over the next month or so right here at Turn 1. Speaking of, if you haven't already done so, head on over to Facebook.com, do a search for Turn 1. Our new availability calendar is live right there for you to take a look 24 hours a day and find out if Turn 1 is available for your event. You'll certainly want to elevate your experience and bring masses to your, or bringing mass amounts of attention to your event, either through social media posting, live broadcasting, or more. If that entertain, or you know what, I can't talk tonight. If you're interested in any of that, I want to discuss pricing, opportunities, and dates. Do me a favor, head on over to Facebook, do a search for Turn 1, and send me a message. I'd love to chat with you. Side by side, the pace car lights are off. We're getting ready to get back green flag racing here on lap number 20. And Vinny Masteus out front, Ryan Patty, Andrew Lutz Jr., Caden Henry Oak, Jeff Hollingsworth, your top 5. Nobody in the top 10 has pit so far here tonight. We did see one driver, that was Dave Hunt, come down pit road. We also saw Tyrone Harris hit pit road as well. So we'll keep a close eye on that tire situation with them. What does that look like? We're going to start to see these lap times start to dwindle down just a little bit. Pace car is going to hit pit road. Here comes Masteus. Ryan Patty. These two have been battling it out pretty much non-stop since getting up front. They're going to get a chance to do it again. Green flag back out here at Pocono. The leader got out free and clear, but second place did. Ryan Patty nearly gets in contact with the 7. 7 is slow. Caden Henry Oaks is stuck behind him. Here comes the freight train. And all of a sudden, Ross Hollingsworth is up in this as well. It's chaos back here for third. Andrew Lutz Jr. trying to hold everybody off. Jeff Hollingsworth is going to look by him, and the caution's out. And unfortunately, it looks like Andrew Lutz is going to be involved. He was sitting in the top 15, I do believe. Let's find out, see what happens to the 23 car. The whole field was mostly checked up there. Yeah, he was just behind all of that. Oh, him and Jeff, or him and David Fairbarrow is going to get involved. And then it looks like, who else was that? I believe that was the 77. Was that Tyler White? It was. Those two making contact. This really, though, even though it happened a little bit behind it, was most definitely due to Ross Rawlings and really that whole crew up there, Charles Woods, Caden Henry Oaks, and others getting checked up and just having a hard time getting through the corner. It was chaos right there in front, and unfortunately, Andrew Lutz and Tyler White going to pay the price. Your top 10 right now, Vinny Masteus, Ryan Patty, Jeff Hollingsworth, your top 3. Andrew Lutz Jr., Caden Henry Oaks, Charles Woods, currently sitting 6th. Ross Rawlings, Paul Crumry, John Zaricki, Nick Pisani, your top 10. And then, obviously, you can take a look at our top 20 right there on your screen. Everybody else behind that 21st onward is Tyrone Harris, Tyler White, Andrew Lutz, Thomas Taylor, Hanover Fist, and Fred Williams did not start. So 24 drivers started the race, but it looks like at least 2 of them are going to be completely out. 3 of them if we count Thomas Taylor. See if this brings leaders down pit road. I don't suspect we will see that just yet. We're going to see Ryan. I take that back. Ryan Patty's going to head down, and he's going to think better of it. So All right, no lead, no position changes in the top 10. They're gonna do another lap and then get them one to go signal from the pace car next time by. You're watching turn 1. Pace car lights are off, getting ready to go back. Green flag racing lap number 24 here at Pocono for the Downforce Racing Series right here on turn 1. Hello, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't already done so, make sure you give that stream you're watching a like or a thumbs up. No matter what platform you're watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, wherever, we appreciate you being here. Pace car's going to head down pit road. Ryan, Patty, Vinny Masteus, your top row or your front row. Patty is going to be the control car, and he's going to get it rolling. Green flag back out. We saw chaos break out up front, just out of turn 1. Let's pay close attention to these top 5. They get it sorted out before they get out of the corner. Hollingsworth alongside Andrew Lutz Jr. for 3rd. The 7's going to have the momentum. Can he keep it off the wall? He's going to. But just up front, Masteus has got Ryan Patty getting really big in the rear view. Heading off into turn 2. Your top 8 single files. They roll through 2. Oh, Ryan Patty gets loose. That car goes for a wiggle. You saw the back end of it slap the wall. The 7's going to drive by. Here comes Hollingworth at the 97 as well. Ryan Patty going to now have damage on that machine. Meanwhile, Macias is going to take advantage. He's going to really take the opportunity from that slip up there from the 30 and drive out to a 0.6 of a second lead. And here comes the chaos. This is back here fourth. That's Charles Woods. Ross Rawlings, Caden Henry Oaks is in this mix as well. Here comes Oaks. He looked underneath Paul Crumry on quarter entry, but didn't take advantage. Now Crumry's going to go high. We'll see a couple drivers. I believe it was John Zaricki getting a little loose. Wanted to make sure we weren't missing anything up front. Well, we are. Ryan Patty, Andrew Lutz Jr. side by side. It is getting a little spicy back here. That's Paul Crumry stuck behind Charles Woods, had nowhere to go. Here comes Caden Henry Oaks alongside. 2 by 2 as they go off into one. Both for P2 and for P6. Oaks is going to try to hang on to that bottom. He's not going to get clear. He's going to make contact sideways. And the caution's out. Several cars are going to be collected in that one. We've seen that coming. And Caden Henry Oaks and Paul Crumry make contact and bring out the caution for the 4th time in lap number 26. That was not what Vinny Macias wanted to see. The driver of that 70 really wanted a clean green flag run there. He was out front and leading pretty hard. He did not want to see that caution come out. Under caution here once again, lap number 27. Macias, Lutz Jr., Hollingsworth, your top 3. You're watching turn 1. Dave Hunt up front did not come down pit road. At least this time. He was last down on lap number 17. He elected to stay out and is going to be up front for the restart here. Jeff Hollingsworth is going to be scored, I believe, P2. Vinny Masteus, no, I think Vinny is going to be P2 there. Just wait for scoring to kind of straighten out a little bit. I'm not sure why we don't have anybody alongside the leader. Well, they're going to get the, yeah, there it goes. Vinny Masteus is going to pick up the outside. Jeff Hollingsworth, Andrew Lutz Jr., Charles Woods, your top 5. We saw pretty much everybody, with the exception of Dave Hunt, come down pit road. So this will be exciting to see how this turns out. This is certainly, I don't know if Hunt took new tires on 17 or not. Most likely he did. So therefore, it's going to be a 10-lap old tire leader up front with Masteus on the outside. We'll see how turn 1 looks. This could get sporty for this group. It's been a very racy pack up front. A lot of risk and a whole lot of take, not a lot of give. Hopefully we see some patience come to fruition. We want to see some green flag laps as the pace car comes down pit road. Hunt, gonna be the control car. Green flag back out. Inside got rolling fairly well. The 7 tied to the bumper of the 70. And Lutz Jr. is going to move down. Hollingsworth is going to try to take that spot too. It looks like Masteus may have had a little bit of trouble getting rolling, but there he is now. There's going to be a 3-wide battle coming out of 2. Or coming out of 1, rather. Side by side. Hollingsworth, Masteus may have made wall contact. Hollingsworth was in position. He's going to lose the run. Hunt is going to lead them as they come down the stretch into 2. He's going to clear the corner. And here comes Masteus alongside Hunt. Masteus has been fast all night tonight. He's going to slide by him there. The 70 car back to the lead as they come out of 3. In the meantime, look just back behind him. Lutz Jr., Hollingsworth, and Ross Rawlings, your top 5. Hollingsworth and Lutz Jr. have not been able to separate from one another pretty much all night tonight. But now, Rawlings is going to be in the mix. Our top 4 pretty tight to one another. Again, this is a traditional 70 car restart. He doesn't come out blistering fast. Wow. As looks like Dave Hunt may have made a little bit of contact, or at least got tied into the corner there. Here comes the 70 of Lutz Jr. Look at underneath him. The 7 car is going to drive underneath him as they roll out through 3. Oh, Lutz is going to get loose. A whole lot of tire and wheel into that car. That's going to get Hollingsworth into the mix. 3 wide down the front stretch. Hollingsworth is going to have the run, but he's not going to get clear. The 7's going to push Hunt up the wall, up the racetrack. 3 wide into 1. Here comes Rawlings. This is going to get tight as the track narrows up in 2. Hollingsworth is going to back out of it, and rightfully so. In the meantime, the 7 of Lutz Jr. and Dave Hunt side by side. Oh, the caution's out again. Looks like this may have involved Tyler White. He is sideways, coming out of 2. And looks like Ron Holyfield may have also been involved. He is slow. Maybe some right side damage definitely on that car. And under caution here once again. For the 5th time on lap number 33, closing in on halfway, Vinny Masteus, Andrew Lutz Jr., Dave Hunt will survive the restart, sitting in 3rd. Ross Rawlings up as high as he has been all night tonight, currently sitting 4th. Jeff Hollingsworth, Charles Woods, Paul Crumry, Nick Pisani, Dave Faribault, and John Zaricki, your top 10. Getting ready to go back. Green flag racing here. Lap number 35. Vinny Macias, Andrew Lutz Jr. on the front row. Dave Hunt, Ross Rawlings, Jeff Hollingsworth. Your top 5. Again, you want to mark your calendars. These drivers next week head on to Chicagoland Tuesday night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on Turn 1. But first, we are going to go back to Green Flag Racing, 4 laps away from the halfway point of tonight's race here at Pocono. The Tricky Triangle, really interesting racetrack, and you can see, you've seen thus far the action that can produce on track. The 70 Macias underneath the 7 of Lutz Jr. Pace car is going to duck down pit road. Down into the restart zone they go. And the green flag back out. Macias able to hold on. A nice hard charge there by Dave Hunt. He's going to go way wide up of 1. Here comes Lutz Jr. underneath, and Ross Rawlings is going to look as well. Side by side for Rawlings. Hollingsworth is looking for a place to go, but doesn't quite have it. Hunt hanging on the outside of Rawlings. I gotta be honest, I'm impressed by the run of this 53 car here. Really hanging on through the corner. And, you know, he last out pit road lap number 17. Everybody else has 10 lap fresher tires. He elected to not pit. And right now, he shut the door, Ross Rawlings, to maintain that 3rd spot. In the meantime, we look up front. Andrew Lutz Jr. challenging for the lead as they roll off into 1. Oh, he's going to nearly cut the nose off of the 70 Macias. That was tight. And Lutz Jr. going to be our new leader. Lap number 37. We'll see how long the 7 car is able to hold on to this spot. As we talked about, Macias is not a hard charger on the restart. We saw that last couple times here, even tonight at Pocono, where he will lay back a little bit. No point in pushing the issue, but Lutz Jr. is going to break out to a 0.3 of a second lead. Since making that pass out of 1. Now he's going to try and break the draft. He's going to lead that lap. What's interesting, too, about lap times here, Vinny Macias was about 5/10 slower. That tells me he must have had a back corner somewhere. It must have been into 1 or something. Something's amiss. He is not normally off the pace that hard. 0.5 of a second's a pretty big stretch. But now, he's actually under pressure from Rawlings. What is going on with the 70 car? Andrew Lutz Jr. out front. Macias, Ross Rawlings. And then Dave Hunt, Jeff Hollingsworth, your top 10, or top 5 rather. Looking back a little further, you're not missing too much. Caden Henry Oaks back here working his way back through traffic. Sitting at 10th, looking on the inside there, the 3 car. Meanwhile, going up front, Hollingsworth, who again, as we talked about at the top of the broadcast, was pretty fast in practice, was the fastest driver by about 0.8 of a second. Now, trying to hold off trying to get past Dave Hunt here. They have been tied on the door, the bumper of each other. And speaking of tied on the bumper, Rawlings is real tight to the bumper of Macias. I think there was a little bit of bump draft coming down the straight there as they roll into 3. This would be a good opportunity to take a look at lap times and see where they materialized out. I'm sorry, not Hollingsworth. Lutz Jr. is going to come across the stripe. A 54.37. Macias not far off. A 54.41. He's found the speed back of that 70 car. Still going to be a little slower than the leader, but definitely on track to making some moves. Meanwhile, Lutz Jr. out front, and he's broken out to a 5/10 of a second lead over the 70, who is now free and clear of Ross Rawlings. As we see Hunt and Hollingsworth continue to battle this position out. Hunt's going to move down. Hollingsworth is going to stay close right into the draft here, and that's going to play to his advantage, but that's just more speed he's got to scrub off as he gets down into one. You're not missing anything anywhere else really on track at this point. A little bit of racing action here. That's John Zaricki behind Caden and Henry Oaks. Oaks involved in that incident about a caution and a half, or about 2 cautions ago. Put him in the back of the pack. He was battling into the top 5. Is recovered back up to 9th so far. I'm sorry, 8th so far. Otherwise, pretty much quiet towards the rear of the field. I think everybody's trying to click off some laps here. Hollingsworth deep on the inside of Hunt. He's going to get clear of him out of 3. Jeff Hollingsworth now, after battling Dave Hunt for just about 3 or 4 laps since the restart for sure, is now going to pick up P4. Meanwhile, looking back towards the front of the pack, the 7 cars run of what I would argue, quote unquote, dominance here of this restart, starting to wane just a little bit. Macias is starting to pick up the pace and starting to run down that 7. Rawlings running identical. Actually, Rawlings last time by was faster than everybody in the top 4. The only person, no, really faster than anybody in the top 5. I beg my pardon. Rawlings is bringing the heat right now on the 91. Probably right there is probably a good reason why that draft becoming a factor. And Rawlings really giving Macias a push down the front stretch. Yeah, that definitely paid off. Macias there, and you see it on screen, was almost nearly full 2/10 faster than the 7 of Lutz Jr. That gap now down to a 0.38. Closing quickly. Here comes the 70 back to the lead. Closing in on the lead, rather. Not back to the lead just yet. And just like that, Rawlings is going to move around the 70 out of turn 4. That's going to free up a little bit of time for the 7. He's going to move all the way down to the very bottom. Not let Rawlings or Macias get that draft. But that didn't really help him a ton. He was out to half a second lead after turn 4, but here comes Rawlings hard charging now. That gap now down to 0.3. Taking a look a little further back, that's Caden Henry Oaks. He's underneath Charles Woods. He's going to get clear of Woods to complete that pass. Now back up to P6 for Henry Oaks. And then also just in front of him, Dave Hunt. That's going to be a pretty easy roll there. Oh, and the caution's out. And unfortunately, I think Ryan Patty, who we saw up front and fast here tonight, is going to be the reason we see this caution come out. Let's take a quick look here at the turn 1 replay. Ryan Patty high up against the wall there. Just, oh no, I'm sorry, he was not high. He was actually outside the 3 car, who I think is a magnet for some of these incidences. And Ryan Patty just gets loose up there, avoids contacting anybody else on the racetrack, but ultimately is going to lose a bunch of time and a bunch of spots as he heads back down pit road, and the caution's out once again here on lap number 45 here at Pocono. We're going to step aside for just a moment, come back and talk to you about how you can get connected with turn 1 right here on Turn 1 Broadcasting. Pace car's going to get ready to head back down pit road as we go back green flag racing. Lap number 48. Ross Rawlings, first off pit road, had a great pit stop. And he's going to be the control car and out front. New leader, the 91. Down into corner he goes, free and clear. The 7 of Andrew Lutz Jr. now, P2. The driver, oh, we got a little bit of Hollingsworth and Dave Hunt really tight on each other as they roll through turn number 1. I tell you what, the driver who who's kind of worked this out to his best ability is Hunt. He stayed out, a caution go, made it work for him. Currently sitting P4 now. Back behind him though, it's a 3-wide battle. This is basically for 6th. That's Bob Lacavera, Caden Henry Oaks, Charles Woods, and a couple others kind of all in this mix. Pretty crazy. Oh, Lacavera's gonna get tight, go all the way up against the wall. He's gonna lose a bunch of spots, but is able to recover. Meanwhile, let's go back up front. We got to fight for the lead as they roll off into 2. Here comes Andrew Lutz Jr. in that 7. I'll tell you what, I wasn't convinced that the 7 car had the pace he needed to be able to run this race tonight and be up front and lead consistently. But right now, the 7 car is impressing me. Back up front he goes. Lap number 49 here at Pocono. Andrew Lutz Jr. is going to lead him out of 3. Basically your top 10 now single filed out everybody. Kind of minding their P's and Q's at this rate, but it gets a little dicey back here behind John Zaricki. Oh, we got a car sideways. We got 2 cars into the wall. That is the 3. Unfortunately, he has dodged everything tonight, with the exception of that one. And it looks like, I believe, Ryan Patty. No, who else was involved in that one? May have been Steve Lane. Let's take a quick look at the replay. Actually, it didn't even log it as an incident, but nonetheless, the 3 car involved here. While under caution here with 30 to go, they're going to come across the stripe here with 30 to go. Want to remind you, Turn 1 Broadcasting now has a live availability calendar right on Facebook. Head on over there to Turn 1. Turn 1 Broadcasting on Facebook and do a quick search through our timeline. You'll find a link to our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week availability calendar letting you know when we are free to call your next event. Want to elevate your racing experience with a broadcast, social media post, or other engagements, and to get exposure out there to hundreds of followers on Turn 1. Feel free to give us a message on Facebook. We'd love to answer some questions, work a deal with you, and get you out front and elevate your racing experience, your iRacing experience today. Facebook.com/search Turn 1 Broadcasting. Under caution here for the 7th time, lap number 51. Gonna go back green flag with about 27 to go. Andrew Lutz Jr., Ross Rawlings, Vinny Macias, your top 3. You're watching Turn 1. Lutz Jr., Ross Rawlings, Jeff Hollingsworth, Vinny Masteas, Caden Henry Oaks in the top 5. Dave Hunt, 6th. Charles Woods, Jerry Bergeron, Paul Crumry, John Zaricki, your top 10. As we see the sun back behind the clouds a little bit here at Pocono, that very well could change the handling characteristics of this track. As we are going to quickly close in on 25 laps remaining tonight for the Downforce Racing Series coverage right here on Turn 1. And hello again, I'm Sean Fitz. Excited to have you with us across all our platforms, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. We are live for your viewing pleasure. We hope you're having a good time. Pace car is going to head down pit road. The 7 on the outside is going to be the control. All the way down to the restart zone they go. Green flag back out. The 7 gets them rolling. Masteas tied to the bumper of Rawlings. Look to the inside. Thought about going down there. Putting the nose to him. And then thought better of it. But here comes Rawlings on the inside of the 7. He's not done leading this race. And Hollingsworth, he's been up here up front all night battling with everybody. Sitting in 3rd. Now tied to the bumper of Rawlings goes Hollingsworth as they go into 2. A tight battle up front. But the 7 car walks away 3/10. We see Ross Rawlings. He's in trouble. Here comes Hollingsworth. He's going to bring Masteas with him as they come out of 3. Oh, they're going to make contact. Rawlings goes spinning down pit road. And that's going to bring the caution out once again with Ross Rawlings, Jeff Hollingsworth. There's some other cars back here sideways. That's Bob Lacavera in trouble as well. And it looks like Ron Deal may have had a part of that. As we were just closing in on 25 to go. The 7 car of Andrew Lutz Jr. out front. Pace car lights are off. Andrew Lutz Jr. Vinny Masteus, your front row. The 7 car going to be in control of the restart here. We're going to take the green flag with 23 laps remaining in tonight's event for the Downforce Racing Series. Live on turn 1. Here comes the 7, the 70 up front, and the green flag back out here at Pocono. Jeff Hollingsworth, again, having a really solid night tonight. Trying to muscle his way to the outside. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum. Here comes Masteus on the inside. Hollingsworth is going to be high through 1 and 2. He's going to have the RPM in the car. Can he get to the bumper of the 70th and get to 2? Oh, not like that. Hollingsworth goes for a ride out of 2. He's able to save it, and he keeps the speed in the car. Masteus is going to hang on to P2, but here comes Caden Henry Oaks. Hollingsworth is going to move down, try to break up the draft a little bit. He's going to be tight on corner entry, though. Hoax has got to slide up as well. Oh, no. Hollingsworth is going to come down pit road. I'm not sure what the need for that is. That is going to probably end the competitive night, though, of Jeff Hollingsworth. We'll see if we can find out what happened there. In the meantime, the 7 car out front of Vinny Masteus. Again, keep in mind, everybody came down pit road during this, during lap 45. So everybody operating on some older tires here. Oh! Masteus is going to make contact with the 7. The 7's going to save it. What a huge save at the front of the field. But here comes Caden Henry Oaks. He's going to take advantage. Dave Hunt is going to do the same. What a save by the 7 car. Now 3 wide coming out of 3. David Hunt, Vinny Masteus, and the 7 of Andrew Lutz Jr. He's not only going to recover the save, he's going to get the position back, and he is all over the racetrack. In the meanwhile, Caden Henry Oaks, your new leader here with 21 to go. Take a look a little further back. Oh no, and the caution's out again. We've got several cars involved in this one. The 3 again involved. Unfortunately, Mike Whitaker, also Paul Crumry, and looks like a couple others. Let's find out what exactly happened. It looks like this may have started with Paul Crumry, but let's take an actual look at the incident and find out what happened with the turn 1 replay. Off into 3 they go. Oh, Crumry may have had, he definitely had some help. I believe that, who is that? Is that, who was that may have gotten into him there? That may have been Ron Deal, the 48. I believe so. Either way, under caution right now, Caden Henry Oaks scored your leader after we saw Masteus and the 7 car of Andrew Lutz Jr. make contact with one another. But the caution out now with 20 to go here at Pocono. While I have you, we are going to be at this coming Sunday. You're not going to want to miss more racing action right here on turn 1. We are going to be headed back to the Sim 500 Sunday Night Thunder group, and I do believe they are, I do believe they are, you know what, let's pull up our handy dandy calendar you can find over on Facebook. They are at Charlotte for the Sim 500 group. That is going to be an incredible race. That'll be 100 laps of really intense racing action with the Sim 500 gang at Charlotte Motor Speedway this Sunday night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on turn 1. And then, as we talked about earlier in the broadcast, DRS heads to Chicagoland on Tuesday. We look forward to racing with, or broadcasting for both of those sets of drivers. It's going to be a really good time. Under caution here once again, nobody coming down pit road. They're going to go back green flag racing with about 18 laps remaining here tonight. Caden Henry Oaks scored your leader. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car's going to head back down pit road. Caden Henry Oaks, your leader, is going to get him started back in the restart zone. Green flag back out. Dave Hunt up front, right behind Henry Oaks. That's going to provide a little bit of buffer here between the 7 and the 70 car. The 7's going to look underneath Henry Oaks. They're going to try to make it 3 wide off the corner. And there it is. They're all 3 going to make contact. What a move off turn 2. I don't know if that was necessary or not, but they're going to stay 3 wide. Lutz Jr. is going to back out of it. David Hunt and Vinny Macias again 3 wide. Here comes the 7. Now Macias is going to back out of it. Andrew Lutz Jr. is going to be able to close the door on P2. We saw David Hunt get a little loose there off the corner. Meanwhile, Caden Henry Oaks out front 4/10. It is nutty back behind him, though. 16 to go here as they roll into one. Hunt's going to get tight off the rear bumper of the 7. Masteus is going to get by him. Here comes Ryan Patty. The 7 car trying to take a hold of that draft coming off the leader. Masteus, though, is right there with him. We talked about how complex this track was to get it right for all 3 corners, and we're seeing that be a factor for some of these drivers. Saw Ryan Patty involved in an incident earlier tonight, worked his way back up to the top 5. Henry Oaks was able to take advantage of the leaders getting into it a little bit, just about 8 laps ago. Now out front. He's controlling the race right now with 15 laps remaining. Meanwhile, I would argue the 2 fastest drivers in the field continue to battle it out. That's Vinny Masteus in the 70, the 7 of Andrew Lutz Jr. And here comes the 70. The top 3 have kind of isolated themselves just a little bit. Then it's Ryan Patty, Dave Hunt, Ross Rawlings, and John Zaricki, as Rawlings is going to look underneath now of Dave Hunt as they roll through turn number 3 here. Oh, Rawlings is going to get loose. That's going to give Hunt the outside look. Again, though, as I mentioned, these top 3 have kind of broken out here, with Caden Henry Oaks leading. The 70 trying to hold off the 7. Last time by, we saw Vinny Masteus in the 70 car be the fastest car there in the top 3 at 54.59. Is actually fastest by a full 10th over the leader, and we're starting to see that come to fruition. The 7 car is using the draft there and letting the 70 pull him up. But these 2 are going to be right there with Caden Henry Oaks before you know it. Closing in tight now. The 7 and the 70 drafting down the front stretch, and they're there with the leader as they roll off into one. Masteus following in the tire tracks of the 51 car. The 7 glued tight to the bumper of the 70. No competition behind him. It's about a 1 second gap. So really, they're just they can race each other here a little bit without a whole lot of pressure as they roll through turn 2. While we've got the opportunity, let's ride on board. This driver's been quick all night tonight to let some laps. Andrew Lutz Jr. Let's take a lap around Pocono in the 7 car. That 7 car, Lutz Jr. is holding on for dear life. He's got the right rear hung out on that machine. As we saw, the lead change happen while we were riding on board. Vinny Masteus now going to pick up the lead here with 11 to go. Caden Henry Oaks was able to hold off the 7 off as they rolled through 1. We see how tight that gets. And now, Caden Henry Oaks ducked down, trying to follow in the draft of the 70. And being on board there with a 7 just gives you really a good, true sense of how difficult it can be to navigate around here again. It sounded like that 7 car was high or right hauled, was tight on that right rear. That tire wear may become a factor. Loose again is a 7. That's going to lose a little bit of time, but nowhere near as much as you would think. And by the way, coming across the stripe, 10 to go here at Tricky Triangle of Pocono. Macias out front, free and clear. Last time by, he was 2/10 faster than third place, 1/10 faster than second. This is kind of a normal thing for Vinny Macias. Out front, a little bit of a lull mid-race, and then comes in hot and heavy towards the end. And we are definitely seeing that come to fruition. Starting to spread out back behind the leader here. Caden Henry Oaks, Andrew Lutz starting to fall off the pace a smidge behind Macias. We'll see if that continues to be a thing. Or can they try to hang on and make a last lap move by the 70 car? Eight laps remaining. Let's take a look back here. Ross Rawlings, Ryan Patty, rounding out your top 5. Dave Hunt, Jeff Hollingsworth, Charles Woods, John Zaricki, Nick Pisani, your top 10. Getting a bit of a green flag run here as the laps wind down at Pocono. Looks like the 7 now, firmly underneath. Caden Henry Oaks trying to get that pass completed. He's going to get it done. Caden Henry Oaks is going to fall to 3rd. Ryan Patty, Ross Rawlings, your top 5. They're coming down through turn number 2. Vinny Macias out front, 0.5 of a second over the field, while Caden Henry Oaks and Andrew Lutz Jr. battle it out once again. Oh, tied off of 2. Almost looked like there may have been some right front contact on Oaks' car, but he's going to continue. No issues here. Let's take a look at lap times. Last time by. Our leader's going to roll through. He was a 10th faster than both last time. A 54.76. Andrew Lutz Jr. ran a 54.82. And the driver, the 51.87. So no pressure there. Meanwhile, Ross Rawlings and Ryan Patty now side by side as they roll out of 1. 6 to go. A drag race down the straight and off into turn number 2. Rawlings is going to be tied up against Patty there. He's going to have to get out of it. He gets loose. That is going to lose some time there. We've seen that happen quite a bit. Those right rears really get loose on corner exit. Ryan Patty's going to keep that spot there in third and fourth. Meanwhile, out front, Macias continues to walk away. 5 to go. Now nearly up to 0.6 of a second lead over Andrew Lutz Jr. Lutz Jr. that time by ran an identical lap time to the leader, but running identical lap times is not going to get you up there, and he's got 5 laps remaining to get it done. Macias last week, again, had a very similar race at Iowa. Fell off in the middle, was actually in a good bit of trouble midway through the race, was able to get back up front and bring home the checkered flag. Well, guess what? He's only 4 laps remaining from doing the same here at Pocono. Down off into 1 he goes. Last time by, still almost 2 full tenths faster than Andrew Lutz. Rolling through turn 3. Lutz Jr. had a really rough turn 2 there, and it's showing in the interval time. Vinny Macias comes across the stripe, 3 to go. Taking a look back through the field, Ross Rawlings is not going to catch Ryan Patty here. Jeff Hollingsworth, he may be able to catch up to Ross Rawlings. Last time by, he ran about a tenth faster, but he's got 3 tenths to catch Rawlings. Hollingsworth has had a solid night tonight, but right now, currently showing 6th, down 4 spots on the start. Here comes John Zaricki looking underneath Dave Hunt. That is, this is a battle here for 8th. Meanwhile, Vinny Macias out front, now almost a full second. Coming through turn number 3. No pressure out back, just needs to run his own race. Coming across a stripe, 2 laps remaining here at Pocono. Even after all the chaos up front and the off-pit strategy, solid night for the 53. He's going to come out of here with a top 10. Meanwhile, Jeff Hollingsworth has ran down Ross Rawlings. Oh, Hollingsworth gets a little loose there. Able to save it, but right to the bumper he goes, or right to the draft he goes to get to the bumper. Let's watch him as they roll through turn 2. Hollingsworth a little higher on quarter entry. Again, that car looks unstable, but not losing a ton of time. But he's got to make it up quick here. As he rolls through 3, he's going to enter high. Meanwhile, up front, Vinny Macias. Free and clear. Has this lead well in hand. 1.3 seconds out front of Andrew Lutz Jr. Had a really solid Iowa finish. By the way, it was up front. He won the race last week. Started out good, fell off in the middle, came back to win. Well, the same thing happened here in Pocono. Or is going to happen here in Pocono. He's got 1 more corner to work around here. He gets out of 2 free and clear. The 70 car is going to look at turn 3 one more time at speed. He's going to get clear. Vinny Macias is going to go 2 for 2. Iowa now at Pocono, your winner. The 7 of Andrew Lutz Jr. is going to also go 2 for 2 in second. Caden Henry Oaks Ryan Patty Rush Rawlings, your top 5. Jeff Hollingsworth, 6th. Charles Woods, Dave Hunt, John Zaricki, Nick Pisani, your top 10. What a great run here tonight at Pocono. We're going to step aside for just a moment and bring you some post-race coverage. Right after this, you're watching Turn 1. Two weeks, 2 races, 2 wins for the 70 car of Vinny Masteas. Not a bad way to go here tonight, as he's going to bring home the checkered flag. The Downforce Racing Series racing action live right here on Turn 1 from Pocono. We're going to wait for these drivers to pop down. We'll talk to a couple folks for post-race, and we'll get the heck out of here and get ready for some Sunday night race coverage of DRS. Again, or not DRS, I'm sorry, Sim 500. If you haven't already done so, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, do what you need to do to get connected here on Turn 1. We'll quickly talk to Andrew Lutz Jr. P2 here tonight. Andrew, congratulations. The second week in a row, though, falling short on spots after having a really strong car tonight. What can we have done a little differently there at Pocono?
Yeah, man, it sucks. Coming to second again to Vinny, but it was a good race. What could have gone my way is not go all the way sideways in the tunnel turn there. Kind of shot my tires, but I was happy that it didn't. It kind of gave them heat, so I kind of had an advantage there at the beginning of the run. But towards the end, it just shot them, and I had like no tires left. But it was a good win there to Vinny. Wish I could have gotten up to him there, but it was a fun race.
Andrew, we saw here tonight a lot of drivers having trouble off corner exit, as you talked about, kind of having the same issue, or at least to a degree. How difficult was it to keep the car underneath you here on corner exit while also trying to keep the run going in these Cup cars?
It was pretty tough because if you get into the throttle too much, the back end wants to step around. But if you get out of the throttle off the corner, you lose all the momentum you had. So you kind of had to equal it out some way, somehow. But it's just tough because the car just wants to snap. But of course you don't want it to snap, so it's tough.
Was able to manage it as best he could, bringing home P2 again here at Pocono. Andrew, congratulations, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again here real soon, except in Victory Lane.
Yep, thank you.
And with that, we will talk to race winner. 2 weeks, 2 races, and 2 checkered flags. Vinny Masteas, your winner here tonight at Pocono. Vinny, congratulations. You know, I talked about the fact that last week you had a strong car, kind of died off in the middle of the race, and then came back strong at the end. You seem to kind of follow that same narrative this week. How was that 70 machine throughout this race?
Oh, good. Just biggest thing here is saving tires and definitely fuel, other than cautions and all. But managed to stay with the field and conserve as much as I could, and took over when I was able to.
Vinny, I'll ask you kind of the same situation. It looks like tonight off corner exit was really tough in these Cup cars. We saw a lot of drivers have a lot of right rear spin in it. From your perspective, obviously tire management was key, but how important was that throttle off and managing that while also keeping the momentum up in these cars?
Yeah, definitely. I think instead of mashing on the throttle and getting on it, quick to stay with the field and all, and pulling the person behind you and losing that arrow was a big thing. But I think just picking the right trajectory into the corner and following it and being smooth with the throttle was the way to go for me. I see a lot of people getting on it, trying to stay with the field, and it's a big track, a lot of aero, a lot of drafting, side drafting. So I kind of let the field do its thing. But most certainly, if you were on it too soon or too long, that right rear will get hot enough within a couple laps. So just managing. That's all it is, just managing through the corner, and so you can get that exit.
Vinny, last question. Last week we were at Iowa, more like a short track, a race close to a short track. Today, big, as you mentioned, a real big three-quarter track. A lot of room. Next week, kind of a mixture of both per se. It's an intermediate track going to Chicagoland. What does that 70 car got in it to try to get a three in a row?
Well, take it easy, of course. I definitely like that track a lot. I think it's more so just positioning and track position. We'll see what we can do when we get there next week, but play it safe, and stay consistent. That's all I can say.
Well, you pulled that off perfectly here with a victory tonight at Pocono. Congratulations, Vinny.
Thank you, sir.
Vinny Masteyas, your winner here tonight at Pocono for the Downforce Racing Series. Want to take another moment here. Hopefully, we can talk to Caden Henry Oaks. A solid top 3 for that driver. If he is around, we'd love to have a chat with him. I know he's a frequent, at least he's in the streams quite a bit. He may have been streaming himself tonight, I'm sure. While we're waiting for Caden, again, I want to thank everybody for the support tonight. We've had a couple likes and subscribes, the follows across the board. One final opportunity, if you haven't already done so, head on over to Facebook. If you're watching this stream on Facebook, and if you haven't already liked or followed the page, please do so. We really appreciate the support. Same on YouTube. Any subscribers and additional subscribers would be great. On our path, or on our way to 200 over there, on our way to 500 on Facebook. And still building up those Twitch numbers. And but yeah, it's definitely great to see the support we're getting from everybody on the Downforce Racing Series crew. With that being said, I guess we're going to call it here. Looks like Caden is going to be busy and not going to jump down. So either way, we're going to wrap up the post-race coverage here tonight. On behalf of the league admins for DRS, I'm Sean Fitz. For Turn 1, we appreciate you being here again next Sunday, or this coming Sunday rather, Sim 500 at Charlotte. It's going to be a great race, and then next Tuesday night at Chicagoland. Both starting 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on Turn 1. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.
Built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We